Greetings from Digital IMA, IMA Library Initiative, as well as IMA Medinexus Initiative for the webcast. I am Dr. K. Agarwal, Honorary Secretary General, Indian Medical Association. Welcome to our show, Chat with Digital IMA, every Thursday, 3 to 4 p.m. Today's topic is very important because we are discussing on an important issue which is probably going to be decided tomorrow in the Rajasthan High Court. Yes, it relates to pictorial warning on tobacco products. Government of India had agreed that they are going to implement 85% pictorial warning on tobacco products. But the matter was suo motu taken over by a parliamentary committee who has finally submitted a report that pictorial warning should not be more than 50%, which medical fraternity feels it is not correct. The matter is coming tomorrow to Rajasthan High Court. Medical fraternity all over, we are very clear, and IMA is leading Doctors for Tobacco Free India, Doctors for Tobacco Free India. IMA is leading that forum also. We have given a representation to the Prime Minister, to the President, to the Vice President, as well as the Finance Minister. We even met Attorney General. We have also returned to the Health Minister that the Government of India should not succumb to the pressure of the industry and allow 85% pictorial warning. Why 85% is? Because in India, remember, when we want to communicate any message, we have options. One of the options is text, second is audio, third is visual, fourth is audio-visual. Now, visual option is always much more stronger than audio or the text options. In India, where the population is, the educated population is less than 20%, most of the 80% of the people are illiterate, they will only follow not what they read, but what they see. Therefore, pictorial warning becomes very important, and that's the stand of Indian Medical Association in this. To talk more about it, an IMA stand is also clear that you cannot stop the production, you cannot stop the sale, and if you are going to put 85% of pictorial warning, everybody is going to come back to us and say, okay, I want to stop, help me out. Therefore, we need to talk about the situation. And our focus today will be something on harmful effects of tobacco, something on pictorial warning, and a lot on smoking or tobacco cessation. With me, my colleague Dr. V.K. Monga, who will be interacting today's discussion, because I will also be a part of a discussion today. And on my left is Dr. Manu Mathur, who is a research scientist and assistant professor at Public Health Foundation of India, and his thesis was basically on cessation of smoking. Manu, why pictorial warning apart from Drishyam? The movie Drishyam explains about that.
Well, thank you very much, sir, for giving me this opportunity to speak on this important and a very pertinent issue. As you have already mentioned that a picture is worth 1,000 words. And it has been internationally proved, it has been proved in different studies done all across the world, that in order to curb a habit-forming substance like tobacco, some sort of warning, some sort of pack warnings, or some sort of a visual warning on the cigarette packings or any other tobacco product packing has been proven to be helpful. It not only acts as a negative enforcer for the person who's buying that packet, but it also acts as some sort of an alarm or some sort of a warning mechanism for people who are succumbing to the use or who want to initiate tobacco use but are still not a tobacco user. So it is helping us in two ways. A, it is refraining the tobacco user by reinforcing the harmful messages. Also, it is also preventing an initiator or a person who has not initiated the use of tobacco to prevent new users of tobacco. So this has been proven, and there have been various studies which have been conducted in India also, where they have asked for the efficacy of pictorial warnings, and almost overwhelmingly about 75 to 80% of people in across all those studies have said that yes, if there is some kind of a visual warning message or if there is some kind of a visual appeal on the packages or on the packets, yes, it would have an impact on them reducing the use of tobacco or not initiating the use of tobacco products. So that is very pertinent. It's an internationally proven thing. We know the harms of tobacco. We know that there is no organ system or no systemic disease or non-communicable disease which is not affected by the use of tobacco.
But do you have any study which says that this has been able to reduce the trend of smoking in our population? I mean, pictorial warning is one part of it.
Yeah.
But pictorial warning, are they a deterrent to the people who are smoking, or any trend on that downward trend is coming in tobacco use or something?
So internationally, yes. In India, there is only one qualitative study which we quote, and that was a study which was done by health-related information dissemination amongst youth. That's an NGO which is working also with the doctors for tobacco control in India. And Professor Reddy and Dr. Monica Arora led that study. It was a study which was done, which did some 60 focus group discussions and which did some 45 in-depth interviews with tobacco users and non-users. And some sort of a follow-up was arranged after 6 months. And they didn't saw a quit rate in that because it was obviously a qualitative study. But increasingly there was this kind of an abstinence which was observed in tobacco users, that there was a reduction in tobacco use amongst tobacco users, and there was some kind of an abstinence which we cannot relate to numbers because it was a qualitative study. But yes, there have been studies which have been done in UK and US by Hammond et al. And other colleagues, and there have been examples. They have followed cohorts where they've seen the impact of pictorial warnings. One of these striking examples is New Zealand now, which has seen the impact of pictorial warnings in Australia, which is now encouraging plain packaging. They are saying that we don't want any warning, we want warning on one page, but on the other page there should be no logo, nothing on the cigarette pack. It should only be the name of the cigarette, no sort of identifier which relates to a particular warning. So yes, there have been different cohort studies in Australia, US and UK which have looked at abstinence and which have looked at quit rates. But sadly, that sort of evidence is less in India. But there are studies which are now looking at it. There have been cohorts which have been developed now, and they are trying to see the impact of this newly formed visual aids on tobacco cessation. So,
I have seen, we did a lot of talking to the people, and two messages. That smoking causes erectile dysfunction in men, and early aging in women. औरतों में झुर्रियाँ आ जाती हैं, औरतों की जवानी चली जाती है, दोनों की जवानी चली जाती है, वो जल्दी बुरी दिखती हैं, and men have erectile dysfunction. That works much better than cancer.
okay.
So there is an Australian campaign on that, on erectile dysfunction. So at the moment, Government of India is planning for a cancer type of a picture, but maybe later in the influence society, this will work better.
But then, what lures them? I mean, what is the kick in starting the smoking? You must be working on that.
See, but it's very simple. The very fact doctors continue smoking after they have studied about them, it means it's not easy to stop. If it was so easy to stop, none of the doctors would have been smoking. So therefore, we know it is difficult to stop. Okay? Smoking cessation will involve principles of CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy. And cognitive behavioral therapy principles will involve multiple sessions, 12 to 18, like Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna and Krishna. In the first chapter, Arjuna only speaks, Krishna doesn't utter a word. So in the first counseling session of smoking, you only must listen to the patient, what kicks in. Unless you totally evaluate him, he is not going to stop. Then in the second session, you have to counsel him in great detail till he gets confused. Okay, he should say at the end of the second session, I am confused, I don't know what to do. Okay, come back again for the third session. From 3rd to 17th, you need to give him in detail reasoning for everything. For every question, you have to reason out. And with that, you have to do two things. विराट स्वरूप देख के डराना और ये कह के कि मैं तेरे साथ हूँ कुछ करना. So you have to do two things. You have to create you have to frighten him And that frightened his by the pictorials. You need to tell him, बुरा हो जाएगा, कैंसर हो जाएगा, ये हो जाएगा, वो हो जाएगा. And then simultaneously you have to tell him, don't worry, stop. If you can't stop completely, I'm with you.
There are ways to do it.
I'm with you. There are ways to do it. I'm with you. Don't get disheartened. And then on the 18th session, you need to be wise with him. Therefore, whenever you're doing a smoking cessation program, it cannot be done in one session. You need to follow him up for 17 or 18 session over a period of 3 months, 4 months, 5 months. Help him out with it. On the very first day, ask him to send a letter, SMS to every friend that I'm attempting quitting from today and you don't offer me a cigarette. So lots of things are required as a part of counseling. And that's the reason what happens is we as general practitioners don't have time. Why we don't have time? The patients are not ready to pay. So therefore, cigarette counseling should be a package. Whatever, 5,000, 10,000, 15,000, 20,000, it has to be a package. Doctor has to charge for that. If doctor says to a counselor will not charge less than 800 rupees per session. 800, 900, 1,000 rupees per session. So that money should come back to the doctor. So therefore, unless cigarette cessation is run like an industry, when you have angioplasty, similarly you have a package, cigarette cessation attempt, not cessation, attempt at cigarette cessation. Total charges say 15,000 plus drugs, 10,000 plus drugs. And then government should subsidize them. In India, we don't have a policy we don't have an insurance policy that if you are a smoker, your premium is more.
Yeah.
We don't have.
We don't have.
We should have. If the insurance company says if your premium is 10% less if you are a non-smoker.
But if you are a smoker and you get bronchogenic carcinoma, I think they refuse payment.
They refuse payment. Yes.
That's what
That they can't. That we can challenge as an IMA. That
we
they
can
can't.
challenge, but till now they are doing
No,
it.
they can't because it's not necessarily smoke related. Because you can have bronchogenic carcinoma without that also. Number one. Even then, if they are refusing a smoking related disorder, then they should have been rejecting my claim at the time of giving it to me that if I'm a smoker, don't give me the claim. Because that smoking is related to so many other diseases. So that's a challengeable issue. They may be doing it, but that's scientifically not correct. But yes, their premium should be higher in smokers. And that should cover cancer, bronchus cancer.
Yes, that is possible. That's the truth.
So let's focus on cessation. Come back.
So as I was saying, the first thing which has to be kept in mind is that tobacco is the most addictive substance. Of all the habit-forming substances which are available, it's the most addictive substance. And the addiction, the reason why we become habitual to tobacco is because of the nicotine present in the tobacco. It's not because of any other substance. It's because of nicotine. Now what nicotine does to your body? As soon as you take a puff of cigarette or you take a quid of tobacco, gutka or any whatever it is, as soon as you take it, it crosses your blood-brain barrier and it combines with your dopamine receptors in your brain and releases monoamine oxidase, which causes a sense of euphoria. Normally, it is released when you are happy, when you are sad. It is associated with your emotions. It is associated with euphoria, be it positive or negative. So, if you are artificially taking a substance which combines to your receptors in the brain and releasing the same amount of monoamine oxidase, which you generally get during natural physiological processes, your body becomes used to it. You become used to that level of euphoria. And then you are not instigated or you are not stimulated by the normal factors or normal stimulus in the nature which can release that amount of substance. And then you require that dose of nicotine to get that same kind of euphoria. And that is why, especially in the medical fraternity, when we are stressed, when we are having 48 hours long duties or emergency rotas, most of us are tobacco users, or most of us are succumb to the habit of smoking tobacco or keeping gutka or candy in our oral cavity. Gutka becomes a bit sensitive here because nicotine, if you're taking through cigarette, it gives you a rush, it gives you a quick puff, it gives you a quick rush of monoamine oxidase, and you instantly feel stimulated. Now, what is the difference between addiction by cigarette and addiction by gutka? What gutka does is, normally people keep gutka in their oral cavity. They place it and they just keep it. 15-20 minutes रख कर बैठ जाते हैं. Now, what it does, it creates a nicotine depot in your mouth. It creates depot in your mouth, and it provides a continuous supply of nicotine, not as high as a cigarette, but it provides you a continuous supply of nicotine, which constantly keep you in a euphoric state. That is why if you go to different offices, or if you see people who are into hard labor, they normally take smokeless tobacco. They normally keep smokeless tobacco. So there are various aspects. We also get a tobacco product by the name of Gull. Now, Gull is a dentifrice. It is used as a dentifrice. It is used to clean the oral cavity. It's very popular in Eastern India, very popular in Bengal, and if you go to Northeastern India. I went for some work in Nagaland for another National Tobacco Control Program work, and it is freely available. It is freely sold across the market as a tooth powder. So what it does is, it provides an anesthetic effect in your oral cavity, and it creates that nicotine depot. So what you do is, the way of using that dentifrice is that you create a lape or a paste and you apply it in your oral cavity. So people who are richer, from the richer sections of the society, and where smoking is a taboo, they generally use this kind of a paste in order to mask their habit of tobacco consumption. They can't show that they use tobacco, so they use this paste and they just keep quiet and say. Or they give it to the hard laborers, or the laborers which are involved in doing some hard work in their factories or farms or their houses. That, oh, you're feeling tired, ये थोड़ा सा मल लो अपने मुंह में और तुम ठीक हो जाओगे. So there are various forms.
It reduces the fatigue factor. Or
It causes euphoria. You forget about fatigue. It masks. It gives you an artificial sense of pleasure. That is why it suppresses hunger. That is why it eases tension. That is why it clears the passage, peristaltic movements. That is why people associate the first cough with motions. So it creates a sense of euphoria in your body. It allays you from all your tensions and anxiety, relaxes the body, and that's why you get this. So this is the addiction mechanism. Now this addiction mechanism has to be very well understood by the fraternity in order to provide advice. You need to understand the physiology to actually work on that thing. And as Sir pointed out very, very eloquently, you need a combination of things. So you require behavioral therapies. You also require, along with behavioral therapy, and as Sir has pointed out, different types of pharmacological and non-pharmacological aids, which are available in the market and now easily accessible in India also. Now, behavioral therapy, as Sir pointed out, that it can be in multiple sessions, and it can be tailor-made according to a group of individuals or to a single individuals. Normally, it's not like any other substance. It's not like cocaine, or it's not like opium abuse, where a substance is shy of therapy. Though they are shy, but we have seen, this is something which has been seen in NIMHANS and other apex medical institutions, that group therapy is also quite useful. So like you create Alcohol Anonymous kind of a group where nobody knows each other, but they sit with each other, they discuss their problems with each other. That I can't leave tobacco because, there are different people telling you different scenarios. And then a doctor or a GP sitting in front of them who's trained in tobacco cessation, explaining that what are the ways in order to overcome this particular situation. So there can be group therapies, there can be individual sessions, like especially if we go in rural areas. And this is a problem which we are facing in our current project which we are doing in Rajasthan and Odisha. If you go in rural areas, women, there is no way by which you can ask the women whether you use tobacco. They will never say. Even if you look at their oral cavity, even if she's smoking outside, she'll come inside and she'll say, no. So there are different social taboos which are involved in it. So for people like these, not only women, but there are different other males also, there is a social taboo. So for people like this, you require individual sessions. And there are various ways which we have devised. As Sir rightly pointed out, that there is a cost involved with giving cessation advice, which ideally is not possible for people in rural areas to afford. और so and the doctors also say that हम क्या क्या करें, हमें MNC करा लीजिए, आपके इतने सारे नेशनल प्रोग्राम्स हैं, आप एक गवर्नमेंट प्रोग्राम पर हमारे सर पे डाल दीजिए गवर्नमेंट के. So there are ways by which we can assist doctors in order to provide this the kind of cessation therapy. We cannot be ideal when we are in a primary care setting or in our health system settings, but we can be very close to ideal as far as possible. So we have devised some new ways of doing these things. One of the ways which we have done is, आपने देखा होगा MR एक कैलेंडर लेके जाते हैं जो हर एक डॉक्टर के टेबल पे पड़ा होता है. तो उस कैलेंडर में हमने क्या किया कि एक तरफ हमने ग्राफिकल रिप्रेजेंटेशन ऑफ हार्म्स ऑफ टोबैको दिखाया और व्हाट आर द प्रॉब्लम्स एसोसिएटेड विद क्विटिंग टोबैको, एंड दूसरी तरफ हमने स्क्रिप्ट लिखा जो उस पिक्चर का स्क्रिप्ट है वो दूसरा. द स्क्रिप्ट इज फेसिंग द डॉक्टर एंड द पिक्चर इज फेसिंग द पेशेंट. Now doctor does not has to keep that in mind or has to do by heart thing because he is very busy. You can't expect him to do another thing. So he just has to read that script and ask him. Like questions from starting from health effects of tobacco, economic effects of tobacco, talking about family effects of tobacco. So आपके tobacco use से आपके परिवार पे क्या फर्क पड़ सकता है, आपकी society पे क्या फर्क पड़ सकता है, and coming down to roadblocks. What are the possible roadblocks? अच्छा भाई आपको सुबह के मोशन के टाइम पे होती है, आप ये करके देखिए, आप ये करके देखिए, आप इसको इस तरीके से कैलकुलेट करिए कि अगर आप 2,000 रुपये दवाइयों पे खर्च कर रहे हैं, आप 50,000 रुपये बचाएंगे अगर आप ये तंबाकू की लत छोड़ के ये च्युइंगम खरीद लें, या आप इस दवाई को ले लेते हैं 3 महीने, आप इतने पैसे बचा लेते हैं. तो पूरे कैलकुलेशन से पूरा उनको स्क्रिप्ट है तो उनको बताया. तो एक तरीके का एड हमने ये शुरू किया है अभी. दूसरा हमने काफ़ी सारे IC मटेरियल्स डेवलप किए जो कि
How effective is nicotine chewing gum?
chewing gum is very effective, but as I said, it depends on your level of motivation. So it depends on your level of addiction and what level of addiction you are at. So there are tests for nicotine dependence which can easily be done by asking 5 simple questions to a person. A doctor in your normal colloquial terms can ask 5 simple questions to a patient and can assess their level of nicotine dependence. And there is a treatment regimen which is available for each level of nicotine dependence. तो आप level of देख सकते हैं, and then there are different stages also. अगर जैसे हम behavioral therapy की बात करें तो हर आपकी different stage पे होता है. एक stage होती है प्री कंटेम्पलेशन की, कि आदमी सोच रहा होता है कि मैं जानता हूँ कि तंबाकू बहुत ख़राब है मेरे लिए, मैं जब तक मेरे शरीर पे हेल्थ इफेक्ट्स नहीं आएंगे मैं नहीं छोड़ना चाहता. आई नो इट इज़ बैड बट आई विल नॉट लीव इट. देन देयर इज अ स्टेज कॉल्ड कंटेम्पलेशन. कंटेम्पलेशन मीन्स दैट आई नो दैट दिस इज बैड फॉर मी एंड आई विल लीव इट बट आई हैव नॉट डिसाइडेड ऑन व्हाट इज द डेट. आई हैव नॉट डिसाइडेड ऑन द डेट. और देन द थर्ड स्टेज इज एक्शन. आई नो इट इज बैड, आई हैव डिसाइडेड ऑन अ डेट, नाउ प्लीज हेल्प मी. आई एम रेडी टू क्विट बट प्लीज हेल्प मी. दैट इज एन एक्शन स्टेज. देन एक्शन के बाद आता है आपका रिलैप्स, कि ओके आई ट्राइड लिविंग इट फॉर 4 or 5 months बट इट्स नॉट पॉसिबल फॉर मी टू लीव नाउ. आपकी चीज़ों का मेरे पे कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ रहा है. ईदर यू हेल्प मी आउट और आई विल स्टार्ट यूजिंग इट एंड देन rehabilitate that okay a person is about to relapse, a person is about to rebound back to tobacco use. Now what are the different modalities or different behavioral intervention or pharmacological ways which you can use in order to prevent that relapse, or if there has been a relapse, what can you do to rehabilitate it? So different stages का आपके पास different treatment regime होती है. Nicotine gum is very good for what we have seen, and of course I cannot back it up with any study, but what we have seen in an Indian context, it is very good for those people who are using smokeless tobacco. Because you using smokeless tobacco, तो गुटखा के नहीं खाते हैं, उनके लिए बहुत अच्छा है क्योंकि वो दबा के रख सकते हो. आप दबा के रखेंगे. Okay. Problem with nicotine gum is, now I'm just telling you the negative effect of nicotine gum. It is very bad in taste. I still remember, there's just an anecdote sir, which I wanted to share. I did my PhD from University College London, UK, and we were very moved by this topic on cessation, and I wanted to start a study in India, which I'm currently doing. So one of our teachers came in the class and said कि जैसे आपने पूछा कि निकोटीन गम क्या करोगे अगर तुम्हारे से सिगरेट कोई पूछता है. मैं कहा यार प्रिस्क्राइब निकोटीन गम. Said have you ever tasted nicotine gum? Then I'm not a user, so I don't know. Said okay. You cannot keep it in your mouth. It is so bad in taste.
Similarly, tobacco is not also very palatable.
No, they have made it. No, that is the essence. That is the thing of tobacco industry. Now you get menthol flavored cigarettes, which gives you a rolling sensation. You get a kiddie pack of cigarettes. You know, so they are all marketed. You get menthol flavor, and you see the packaging. You are allured to buy that particular thing. So it is so bad in taste. It gives you such a sooty thing in your alimentary canal that you know it's very difficult to actually take that taste. And a person can never, you know, you start using it until and unless somebody primes him about the taste. So it is very important that you tell him, देखो पहले शुरू के जो 2 बार चबाओगे तो बहुत बुरा टेस्ट आएगा, काली मिर्ची जैसा टेस्ट होगा और तुम्हारे गले में जलेगा, बट उसके बाद तुम्हें बहुत अच्छा लगेगा और तुम्हें वैसे ही लगेगा जैसा गुटखा खाते हो.
Okay.
So what these
What
nicotine-
other options? I mean,
So these are nicotine replacement therapy. Nowadays, we are also getting nicotine patch in India, which have just been started marketing by Johnson and Johnson. Problem with patch is it is expensive and it is not so frequently available like a nicotine chewing. Now with the patch, the thing is that there are different intensities of patch. As I said, they only contain nicotine and other harmful substances are not there. You can put a patch depending on again the level of nicotine dependence of a person. You can put it on the arm or below the axilla, wherever you want to put it. And you can ask this person to keep it for 12 hours or 18 hours or 24 hours depending on the use. And this will give him the same supply of nicotine and will keep him euphoric, but will also prevent the other harmful chemicals to enter into the body. But patches are not easily available in the country. And they are expensive, they are slightly on the expensive side. So, for a primary care setting, it's not a very viable option. The other option is to use pharmacological aids. Now, there are 5 drugs which have been internationally validated, and WHO ICD-10 classifies these drugs as safe to be given to tobacco users. But they can only be given on prescription, so only a doctor can give these drugs. The first one, the most efficacious one is varenicline hydrochloride, which has been found to be 18 to 24% effective in different clinical trials for a person to quit tobacco. Varenicline hydrochloride is marketed as Champix in India. It is marketed as Chantix in other parts of the world. It's a slightly expensive drug, but the most efficacious drug. Then you have the age-old bupropion hydrochloride, which is marketed as Zyban. These are all antidepressants, but different dosages are found to be helpful. Nowadays, there is a lot of doctors are prescribing nortriptyline for this purpose. So nortriptyline is a drug which is clonidine is the other one which clonidine can be used. But it's basically the most readily available and most widely used pharmacotherapy is Zyban, which is bupropion, and nortriptyline. Champix is given only in tertiary care hospitals or in tertiary care smoking cessation clinics, where we know that a person can afford this particular treatment.
What if you get addicted to nicotine gums?
A very good question. So we have a very senior colleague who is an oncologist in Rajasthan. He gives a very good answer to this question. Thoda sa I'll use Hindi because I think the impact will come in Hindi. His name is Dr. Rakesh Gupta. He's a very renowned oncologist now working in tobacco cessation. And he always, whenever he takes these doctor trainings, he always uses the word कि एक चीज़ का ध्यान रखें, तंबाकू छुड़ाते छुड़ाते कहीं च्युइंगम ना लगा दें उनके. So you have to make sure that you give tapering doses of nicotine gums.
Okay.
So you start with, let's say, 1 pellet of nicotine gum every 3 hours or every 4 hours.
On day one.
On day 1, day 1 to day 7. Then you can say to that person that okay, now you were on a 4-hour regime. Now for the second week, do it a 6-hour regime. 4 chewing तुम 6 खा रहे थे, 8 खा रहे थे. अगर 8 खा रहे थे तो 6 कर लो, अगर 6 खा रहे थे तो 4 कर लो.
Is there any equivalent of a cigarette versus cigar? How many cigarettes? Suppose. So there has to be some mathematical formula.
There is a mathematical formula. 2 gums is equivalent to 90% of a normal cigarette.
90% of
Normal cigarette butt.
one cigarette.
One cigarette. The length of 1 cigarette. So the amount of nicotine
So
provided.
a person has been taking 40 cigarettes. Suppose then you require 80.
No. So that is just a calculation to show how much nicotine you are taking. But for reaching that level of euphoria, you don't require 40 cigarettes. It can be reached, let's say, by cigarette 8 or cigarette 9. So you just have to provide that much amount of nicotine which gives you the same level of euphoria, again depending on the nicotine dependence, which a person
For example, if a person is taking 1 cigarette a day, his level of nicotine dependence will be more different than a person who is taking 20 cigarettes a day. So therefore I'm saying, I'm giving a situation. A person comes to you and say, I'm an occasional smoker. I smoke 1 cigarette a day. Will he require 112?
No, he doesn't.
Then who requires 112?
Okay, so that formula is more than 12 cigarettes.
More than 12
More
per
than
day.
12.
So anybody more than 12 per day,
Requires pharmacology
Then
or
you-
nicotine replacement therapy. A nicotine replacement therapy or a pharmacology therapy.
so if anybody less than 12 cigarettes, it will be managed only by
Only by behavior.
Cognitive
Cognitive
behavior.
behavior.
Only by-
Ideally, yes. Ideally,
Okay.
yes.
In this more than 12 cigarettes per day, also it has to be tapered over 3 months.
It, ideally 3 weeks to 4 weeks, but it depends again on how much relapse this person is facing, how much withdrawal symptoms this person is facing. But maximum time is 3 months. You cannot give nicotine therapies for more than 3 months. The regimen is maximum 3 months. अगर वो 3 महीने में if he is relapsing back, then you have to really think about something else. It cannot be
Because then we do give for 3 months.
Yeah.
That's what 3 months.
3 months.
The calculated 3 months that you use.
3 months is the maximum. You can't give it for more than 3 months.
Okay, let's go back. Let's do a small study. Monga smokes 12 cigarettes a day. Interact. Then we
I won't lie. I've gone through
Difficult, but I'll try. क्या नाम है आपका?
विनोद कुमार।
अच्छा, क्या शिकायत है? इसलिए आए हैं आज।
बस सिगरेट शुरू कर दी, बहुत पुरानी, और
छुट्टी
अब
नहीं.
बहुत लोग कहते हैं छोड़ना चाहिए, बीमारी हो जाएगी, कैंसर हो जाएगा।
क्यों नहीं छूटती?
छोड़ना चाहिए।
क्यों नहीं छूटती? आप जानते हैं उससे कितना नुकसान है आपके शरीर को? आपको सब ये मालूम है।
हर 1 घंटे के बाद दिक्कत होनी शुरू हो जाती है, सिर में दर्द हो जाता है, बेचैनी हो जाती है, घबराहट हो जाती है, अगर मैं नहीं लेता।
बेचैनी का और क्या कारण हो सकता है कि आप जब काम पे होते हैं तब ये बेचैनी ज़्यादा होती है या जब आप घर में बैठे होते हैं तब ये बेचैनी होती
यूजुअली तो घर में होती है, काम पे तो फिर आदमी बिजी हो जाता है। घर पे
है? और कितनी सिगरेट पी लेते हैं आप दिन की?
12 के भी 10 से 12
बस इतना। देखिए, आपकी सिगरेट पीने से आपका बेचैनी का कोई संबंध नहीं है। आपका बिल्कुल इस चीज़ को दिमाग से निकाल दें कि आपको सिगरेट पीने से आपकी बेचैनी दूर हो गई। और भी कई तरीके हैं, आपके काम के वक्त या आपके परिवार में ऐसा कुछ हो रहा है जिसकी वजह से आपकी
वेरी कंफर्टेबल है, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है।
ये आपके काम में कुछ ऐसा हो रहा होगा जिसकी वजह से आपको ऐसा होता है, जिसकी वजह से आपको बेचैनी हो रही होती है। और सिगरेट से ऐसा कुछ है नहीं, जादू की छड़ी नहीं है जिससे कि वो हो
इसी
जाए।
जमाने में मेरे को थोड़ा टेंशन रहती थी,
हाँ।
लेकिन अब तो कोई टेंशन नहीं है।
आपके पास 10 मिनट का टाइम होगा अगले हफ्ते, आप अगर हमारे से बात कर सकते हैं।
छोड़ना चाहता हूँ।
छोड़ना चाहते हैं तो ठीक है, आप हमारे साथ बैठिए ज़रा 10 मिनट हमसे बात करिए, हम आपको बताएंगे क्या क्या तरीके हो सकते हैं। अगर हम आपकी सिगरेट को एक आपको च्युइंगम दें, वो आपको पसंद आएगा, आप लेना चाहेंगे उस च्युइंगम को?
छोड़ना चाहता हूँ, जो आप कहोगे करेंगे।
तो अगर हम एक सिगरेट की जगह आपको च्युइंगम दें और एक आध गोली आपके लिए लिख दें तो आप खाएंगे इसको?
बिल्कुल खा लूँ।
आप एक बार लेके देखिए, ये बाहर जाइए, ये च्युइंगम आप इसको खा के देखिए और 3 दिन बाद मुझे आके बताइए आपको कैसा लगा। जब आपको ऐसा
कहाँ
लगे
मिलेगी चीज़ों?
आपको बाहर, आपको जनरल स्टोर जो है हमारे क्लिनिक के बाहर, आप वहाँ चले जाइए और आप मिल जाइए बहुत आराम से। आपके घर के पास भी जो जनरल स्टोर होगा, जो अच्छा जनरल स्टोर होगा, मिल जाएगा।
चीज़ों के मुंह में रखनी है, चबानी है या
आपको चबानी है उसको। आपको उसको पहले देखिए, जब आप चबाएंगे तो आपको थोड़ा सा अजीब लगेगा, थोड़ा अटपटा लगेगा, ऐसा लगेगा जैसे काली मिर्च का धक्का लगाया आपको। लेकिन आप उसको चबाते रहेंगे तो थोड़ी देर बाद वो अच्छी लगने लग जाएगी। और जब भी आपको ऐसा लगे कि आपको सर दर्द हो रहा है, आपको ऐसा लगे कि आपको घबराहट हो रही है, बेचैनी महसूस हो रही है, सिगरेट पीने का मन कर रहा है, आप एक च्युइंगम निकाल के खा लें और उसको करीब 15 से 20 मिनट अपने मुंह में रखें। 12 से 14 बार चबा के उसको 15 से 20 मिनट अपने मुंह में रखें। 3 दिन करके देखिए और फिर एक बार वापस आइए, फिर अपन बैठ के ज़रा बात करते हैं।
आपका मतलब है
Sir,
कल से
voice of
बिल्कुल
telecast is very faint. थोड़ा जोर से बोलना पड़ेगा.
आपका मतलब मैं कल से बिल्कुल सिगरेट छोड़ ही दूँ और सिर्फ ड्रम्स के ऊपर हूँ।
आप कोशिश करिए, अगर आप बिल्कुल छोड़ सकते हैं तो उससे अच्छी कोई बात नहीं होगी। लेकिन मैं इतना आपसे कहूँगा कि आप कम करने की कोशिश करें। जब भी आपको सिगरेट पीने का दिल करे, कोशिश करें कि आप वो च्युइंगम खाएं। आप जैसे ही आपको सिगरेट पीने का दिल करे, आप एक च्युइंगम रखें अपने लिए और कोशिश करें कि वो चला जाए, आपका सर दर्द चला जाएगा, आपको बेचैनी होना कम हो जाएगी, आपको घबराहट कम होगी। और अगर ऐसा लगता है कि जैसे सुबह की सिगरेट आपके लिए बहुत ज़रूरी है या दोपहर की सिगरेट आपके लिए बहुत ज़रूरी है, मैं आपको ये कहूँगा कि उसको आप चलते रहने दें और 3-4 दिन बाद देखिए कि बाकी के आपकी जो सिगरेट पीने की आदत है वो कम हो रही है।
मेरी कब्ज का क्या होता, मेरे पेट
I
का-
normally, Manu, my practice, I will do the reverse.
हाँ सर।
If a person is supposed to smoking 30 cigarettes and he says 4 cigarettes I can't stop. The morning motion, breakfast, lunch and dinner. So I would say you continue 26.
Leave that for
Keep going.
That's a good way, sir.
That's what I follow, and I insist that the only thing you have to make sure is that 1 hour before and after breakfast, lunch and dinner, you will not smoke. So you wait, 1 hour is over, now you can smoke. Because these are the most addicting and the most, in his mind he is addicted to that. Whether or not it is a cause of addiction, but he is addicted because of his feeling, because of his belief. Therefore we want to stop that.
It's a brilliant idea, sir, and that's the beauty of cognitive behavioral therapy, that it depends on how you mold your.
And second thing we say is that we teach them how to smoke. That is a mindfulness smoking.
Okay.
Mindfulness smoking is that you concentrate all your 5 senses while smoking. Its taste, its smell, its vision, its touch, everything. And then invariably, midway, you will stop. You will not be able to. That means, while smoking, you cannot be watching TV, you cannot be reading, you cannot be talking.
Just concentrate on.
When you are smoking, smoke. And when you smoke,
You become conscious of
this
it.
is called conscious smoking. And when you are conscious of smoking, you will not be able to completely do it.
Brilliant idea.
That's the thing. Sometimes we add that and it works.
So it's a fantastic idea, and it actually, what sir is saying is absolutely correct, because normally people smoke because of the tactile pleasure, that you need something in your mouth, you need something to hold in the hand, or peer pressure is a big thing. That 4 of my friends are smoking, so I want to smoke. That's the urge of smoking.
And the third thing is that when we ask a person to smoke, there is a principles of yoga, there is a do's and don'ts, and then asana, pranayam, pratyahara, dharana, dhyan, samadhi. These are the 8 principles of yoga. Out of them, the most important is pratyahara. Pratyahara basically means create an atmosphere of non-addiction. You create an atmosphere of non-addiction. How do you create that atmosphere is, say for example, the day you want to quit, send an SMS to everybody. That from today, I am not going to smoke, please don't force me. If you are my friend, you have to write down that word. That my true friend will not allow me to smoke, will not offer me a smoke from today. Then you will write down another SMS, please don't call me in a party where it is not going to be a smoke free. So therefore, your friend circle will say, he wants to smoke. They will say, in this party they will say, please don't come. Please don't come. So what happens with that is, this principle is called pratyahara. Then dharana, dhyan, samadhi is conscious smoking. Conscious smoking. Before that is pranayama, parasympathetic breathing. Parasympathetic breathing. And if you do a parasympathetic breathing, which is a breathing with a rate of 4 per minute, your addiction qualities, your tendencies to addiction will go down. So therefore meditation, relaxation, pranayama, parasympathetic breathing all helps. So all those principles also help. Another thing which talks about is that who can stop smoking, Lakshman or Ram? See, in Ramayana, Ram is your consciousness, Lakshman is your determined mind, that is your Lakshman, Sita is your body. Okay. Now Sugriv is your intellect, Hanuman is your breathing, so Vanas are your thoughts, and Bali represents lust. There Bali represents lust for sex, Sugriv ki bidi leke chala gaya, and for these vices. And if you see, Bali was not killed by Lakshman. Therefore lust cannot be killed by the mind. So then the mind gets diverted. Bali was killed by Ram, consciousness. So therefore it is your consciousness, it has to be a conscious based decision, not a mental based decision. Mental based decision is okay, छोड़ के देख लेते हैं. You will come back. Unless it comes from inside, unless your consciousness says, I want to stop, that will be a successful stoppage. If you just want to try it, जैसे ना पी के देख लेते हैं, वैसे कहते हैं छोड़ के देख लेते हैं, you will never be able to solve. And then, if you see Bali versus Ram, Ram did not kill Bali from the front, he killed him from the back. That means he did not allow Bali to know that he was killing him. Therefore, you have to create an atmosphere where smoking is not there in that atmosphere. So you cannot allow, therefore, we normally say that if you are putting smoking, especially in these 3 months period, don't see any movie that there are pictorial on smoking. Don't read any magazine where there are ads on anything related to smoking, even an article related to smoking. Don't read anything. Only read Bhagavad Gita, read Bhagavad, or read spirituality if you really want to. Because any stimuli can stimulate you in religious activity.
Absolutely.
Okay, there are 2 questions for you now. Everybody says that tobacco causes cancer and tobacco causes atherosclerosis. One of the persons that asked me, number one is, we know that tobacco chewing can give rise to cancer with other local factors. But why lung cancer with tobacco? What is the pathogenesis of cancer in smokers?
See, all smoking will lead to nicotine. Nicotine is linked to heart disease. Nicotine is related to atherosclerosis.
Oh.
And then non-nicotine protects.
Mm.
These are all 4,000 cancer-producing substances. These are carcinogens. So therefore, this is cigarette which is associated with lung cancer may not be the tobacco. Tobacco is related to oral cavity cancer.
Yeah.
So that is a local irritation, local heating effect.
Mm.
So nicotine basically leads to changes in your circulatory system, as he has talked about euphoria in the brain and in the heart. It leads to insulin resistance, it leads to plaque rupture, it leads to formation of plaque. That he should be able to explain the pathogenesis of that. But when it comes to carcinogens, cigarette contains the burning of the cigarettes, the carcinogens. They are the one who causes cancer. Now remember, the tobacco never came from. The tobacco was there. No, tobacco was not there in Ayurvedic period. If you see Ayurvedic texts, they talk about smoking as a treatment. There is a Vata smoking, Pitta smoking, and Kapha smoking. Then you have a smoking in your yajna. In every yajna you smoke. You sit there and you are smoking. Yajna is, wherever there is a yajna, there are no mosquitoes. So smoking there is being used in our traditional life, but tobacco leaves are not there. So apart from tobacco, when you burn the leaves as it is, the carcinogens which are there, you should be able to tell which are those carcinogens which causes directly into the body and causes lung cancer. And then, if you want to stop smoking, do it before the cancer develops. So if the cancer develops, please don't stop smoking.
Achha.
Then what's the idea now? 6 months are left, 1 year is left, enjoy life.
That's why I have seen many cancer people smoking cigarette even after that.
No, they might want to.
They may not be able to stop it.
No. Even if they want to stop it, why do you want to make their life miserable? Let them enjoy and go upstairs.
But how does tobacco cause atherosclerosis?
So they are basically coming back to cancer first. There are, as sir said, that there are about 4,000 different chemicals in the cigarette. So, now when there is a combustion happening of cigarette, there are tobacco-specific nitrosamines which are found. These tobacco-specific nitrosamines, TSNAs, they are carcinogenic to the body. Plus, there are different polyphenols also which are added to the cigarette to make its taste more acceptable.
Okay.
There is polonium added to the cigarette, which is a radioactive substance. There is coal tar in the cigarette. Tar is produced in cigarette. So all these chemicals, this cocktail of chemicals which goes into the body is responsible for damaging different organ systems. So, as I said, for cancer it is tobacco-specific nitrosamines which causes this. For atherosclerosis, I don't know the exact substance, but yes, because of the polyphenols which are present and because of the ammonia and other substances which are added to the cigarette and to smokeless tobacco. What it causes plaque in the body and which ultimately leads to atherosclerosis. The exact pathophysiology is obviously.
I know one thing, that in the night, at 2 o'clock in the night, if I get an inferior RMI, smoker versus non-smoker. If If a smoker comes, I'm worried. If a non-smoker comes, I'll tell my junior to please manage. But if a smoker comes, I'm worried. So just sudden death, no. Sudden death and more.
Okay.
So therefore, I am afraid that if he dies, he will say that's all I can. So the chances of sudden death are very high in smoker getting heart attacks. That's the basic thing, and that ends up into litigations. What they expect you to come, you don't go, and they suddenly and they will die. Otherwise, they are fine. They will just die. That's what the is.
In fact, it is also associated with a lot of incidents of sudden infant death syndrome. A lot of it's
That's another common in the family is infant is contact. What are the benefits of smoking?
Whenever it's smoking, it gives you a kick.
Nothing can be there in the universe without a medicinal value. Nothing can be there in the universe. Every poison has a medicinal value.
Sure.
Now,
Maybe
tobacco
initially it was used as a medicine and then became
tobacco leaf is not eaten by animals, is not eaten by birds, not even eaten by insects. And tobacco leaf water paste is used as an insecticide. It's a known insecticide. You take tobacco leaf, it's like a neem water, you take tobacco water, and tobacco water you can do spray over the plants, they will work like an insecticide. But there is a virus called a tobacco virus who eats the tobacco leaves. So therefore, poison is also a force of food for somebody. Because tobacco virus eats tobacco leaves. So there is somebody that tobacco is being made. Similarly, in our body, resistant ulcerative colitis, refractory ulcerative colitis, possibly Alzheimer's, nicotine is used as a drug. Nicotine patches, nicotine chewing gum, nicotine is used as a drug. Therefore, God has given tobacco, nicotine as a medicine, not as a. Now, this cigarette is an adulteration of nicotine. That nicotine gets adulterated with polyphenols, with other things, coal tar, it becomes an adulterated drug. So, nicotine is an adulterated drug, this cigarette. Tobacco is an adulterated drug. The drug is nicotine, and nicotine is useful to the body. Nicotine is a drug.
Sure.
Okay, and there are indirect benefits also. Cigarette पीने वालों को बुढ़ापा नहीं होता. जवानी में they die before that. They will never end up into a बुढ़ापा. Their heart attack will get cured early. चले जाओगे. Cancer lasts only for 6 months. So if you have a cancer and if you smoke, you are cured in 6 months. एक बार जल जाओगे तो क्योर ही हो गए. Cancer gets cured. So therefore, आदमी खांसी करते रहते हो, चोर नहीं आता, भाई भाई का झगड़ा नहीं होता, प्रॉपर्टी डॉक्टर के पास चली गई. I mean, there are so many things, indirect way of telling the people. But the most important thing is that if a person comes to you in a stage where he wants to quit, unfortunately, most of the people are not ready. Most of the people are not ready. Majority are saying, I know it is bad, but let me decide. The time is not yet. The time is not yet. And there will be only few people who will say, I want to smoke, but not yet. Okay.
Sure.
And the third group which he talks about is the action group, where people say, I want to quit now, help me out. Majority of them are after disaster. There will be cancer हो गया, भाई की death हो गई, somebody close the family died of heart attack. They develop jaundice, or they develop pneumonia, they are admitted in ICU. Now they say, okay, when I am in ICU, now let me try this also.
Just to add on to this, just an anecdote, sorry sir. Just to add on to this, when we are talking about medicinal value of tobacco, we should also understand how this tobacco thing came to India. Now, this is not an Indian crop, first of all. This is
How do you
not
do?
not an Asian.
How do you prove?
I'll tell you the history.
No, I'm asking you, what do you prove? That it was not there in our India. Ganja was there, Lord Shiva was there.
Lord Shiva was there.
When Lord Shiva was there, Ganja was there. Ram, Ravan, Krishna, Kans, Devta, Danav. कोई cigarette नहीं पीता था. There is no mention of cigarette in our Vedas.
Not in this form, but maybe
No,
they were
there is no
smoking
mention.
ganja,
No, Ganja is there.
Uh-huh.
There is no mention of tobacco leaves in Vedic
Ah,
literature.
So what happened was when Christopher Columbus was trying to find India, he accidentally landed into on the American shores, and he saw American Indians smoking a particular leaf and using that particular leaf for rectal enemas.
Like sir?
Rectal enemas. So he was fascinated to see that how a plant-based product can be used for rectal enemas, and that was very effective at that point. So he thought that obviously this thing has a medicinal value, and also you can, if you're not using it for the medicinal purposes, you can just combust the leaves and you can use it for smoking purposes. And he brought the plant back to Spain when he came back. So this is an American crop which was very common amongst American Indians. If you read their history, you will see mention of tobacco leaves also there, and you'll see the encrypts on the caves where people are smoking these tobacco leaves. And it was during one of these conquests when these European travelers, when they started hitting Indian shores, that tobacco plant came to and this was during the Mughal reign, that this
200 years back.
15th century, 15th, 16th century. And
Why is IMA taking such a proactive role in pictorial warnings to be increased 25%, and why the government
We all
not
have
wanting
been,
it?
we all have been fighting about it for the last many decades, not one. I know of our fight going on for the last 3 decades.
So-
I've been asking. For the first time, government has agreed initially for 40%, initially only for text, then
Yeah.
pictorial warning, then 40%, and government even agreed for 85%. But now there is the pressure of the
Lobby.
tobacco lobby, which is obvious. And tobacco lobby says that so many people's life will go away. They don't understand that if you lose a job, nobody dies of losing a job. There are alternative jobs available. I normally say is all those people who are making BD, they should be make BD quitter counselors. They will earn much more what they are earning today.
Yeah.
If every BD manufacturer or a cigarette manufacturer is given a training how to quit smoking, if they start helping the society in quitting smoking, they can earn more than what they are earning today.
Okay. But then I'm told that whatever the committee, parliamentary committee or something, there are 1 or 2 persons who are manufacturers.
Conflict of interest is there. People are sitting there and they don't want that to do it. They have manipulated the report that it should not be more than 50%. Now, parliamentary committee may be binding, may not be binding.
Yes.
It depends upon the pressure. It's normally a binding unless government rejects it. It has to be discussed in the parliament. Let's see what will happen. No, we'll see tomorrow. Tomorrow the picture will be clear.
And in case High Court says he can, let it be 50% or whatever.
High Court can't say
for the time being,
High Court can't say that.
they can't.
High Court can't. As soon as High Court says 50% we are accepting it, we'll interject. IMA will go to party into it.
Yes.
So
You
IMA,
know, party or you go to Supreme Court or something.
we will see. IMA, they cannot say that.
Uh-huh.
Government may like to buy time. By saying parliamentary committee report has come, kindly consider. They may put it on the judge. Judge may say, okay, let me study.
Mm-hmm.
Normally expected is that 85% warning should come from tomorrow.
Yes.
That's what we expect. But this is a contempt case, this is not a routine case.
Yes.
And how does it matter? Cigarette is a cigarette. See, cigarette is a cigarette. Whether it is there 85% or not, the people who are smoking will continue to smoke. For them, they will start buying it loose. But definitely it will help the society in new smokers. What IMA is asking for is that in 85% Victorial, 25% should be of quit, benefits of quitting. Because if you don't give that, if you are only frightening a person,
Okay.
see, I'll tell you one story that that when way back in 1970, 1984, when I did the first press conference, and I was creating awareness on heart disease everywhere. A time came, people started abusing general public. Why are you creating awareness? I said, what? You are creating awareness about blockages, but there are no angiography labs. There are no bypass centers. At that time, of course, were not there. This is your very crime. By creating awareness, you are giving us a hope. And see, something like you create awareness of CKD, and then you don't have dialysis machine, you don't have transplant machines. How can I create awareness about heart transplant if the facility is not available? So therefore today I am creating awareness about tobacco quitting, but there are no doctors available, physicians, no clinics are there, but it has to be converted into economics. And here I am going to come back to him last, because we have only a couple of minutes left. How can you help us, IMA, in developing 6 or 7 modules on smoking cessation, on a role-play model? The role-play model means that we have a success story. Suppose I give you a patient, give him a counseling, and let's see, every time he comes to you with God, and then we convert the whole thing into an hour video. Situation number 1, situation number 1, situation number 2, situation number 3, situation number 4. Then only GP will be able to venture into it. Otherwise, I will not. See, this is all theoretical that I will explain.
Yeah.
Explain what?
Yeah, point is very valid, sir, and unfortunately, we also realize the same thing, what you are saying, that yes, you have to reinforce these messages with the help of various audiovisual aids and through various medical vignettes. Now, when I say vignettes, I mean these different real life scenarios, like the role play which we did. Now, a person comes to me and say that I've been smoking for the last 20 years, I have got no COPD, nothing. How will you motivate me to? So there have been different developments which have been taking place all over the world. Different universities are working on developing these vignettes. And what Public Health Foundation of India has been doing is trying to develop context-specific and content-sensitive vignettes for our country. Because our problems are not the same. I
Share those with us. And the last thing is, Dr. Moha, is that non-smokers' rights. Unless the non-smokers get up and say, I will not allow you to smoke in front of me.
Yes. Some people do it.
That's the only thing. Okay. And then how to stop these Dr. Shripat Kumar, Suratve, and then Dr. Mukund Bhairati. People say they want to quit, but often they can't do it. That's what we are discussing now. And then how to stop adolescent tobacco use.
Yeah.
So
In colleges and schools, even school, I mean, 13, 14-year-old students now are smoking.
16% of the under 15 children in India, according to global, 16%, 1 in 6.
I've tried a lot on penicillin and tobacco also, not only for smoking. I've done lots of patients I've done, people who are tobacco users. Normally it is mentioned only for smoking, but I have done it for tobacco users also with success.
So that's an important case study.
That's
I know a few people who have tried Varenicline on Kenny users.
It
is shown.
It works.
It works.
It works.
And
but the only mind is that if all our listeners, if they are planning for a tobacco cessation clinic, make sure if you putting a patient on penicillin, there are 3 types of packs available. Pack 1 is first month pack, which has a different dosage pattern, and the second and third are the same ones. Buy all 3 of them together. Otherwise, you will end up only using the first one, and you will not use the second or the third one.
Perfect.
So you buy all the 3 packs together, and at least I know in Delhi, 40 to 50% discounts are available in a couple of shops on this. So it turns out to be not more than 4,000 rupees per month, which is 12,000 rupees for 3 months, which is almost like 10 rupees a day. 12 rupees and 10 rupees a day. And your cigarette consumption is much more than 10 rupees a day. So there are situations. So therefore, all our listeners, if you are a medical doctor, if you smoke, you know that the help is available. If your family members smoke, offer them help. And if you have your patients, make sure one habit. To every patient you ask, do you smoke? Do you want help? That's all. Don't force them. Do you want help? Some of them will come back to say, yes, I want help. And then offer them help, give them a package, charge that package, and you will be able to do justice to your profession. And one confession I want to make. One day, one patient, I asked the patient, do you smoke? He said, occasionally. Kabhi kabhi pita hu, in Hindi he said. So I ignored it. The wife came back to me and she says, doc, go and study MBBS again. I said, what happened? He would know how to take history. He said, occasionally, and you ignored it. Ask him, what does kabhi kabhi means? He said, doctor, hamesha nahi pita, kabhi kabhi to ghante niकल जाते हैं nahi pita. His meaning of kabhi kabhi was not always. He says, kabhi kabhi to ghante निकल जाते हैं. So these types of tricky questions also you will face in your medical profession. That's all for today. Let me thank Dr. Bonga, my colleague, and Dr. Manu Mathur to be with us, and hope to see tomorrow's decision in the favor of medical fraternity. Hope to see 85% pictorial volume of tomorrow. If not, we continue our fight. Till that, goodbye. We'll come back with one more session next time, hopefully on diabetes, because 7th April is World Diabetes Day. Thank you.